Hello and welcome to episode 11 of deBETA. I will be your host for today, Noah Graham, and I'm joined by Jonathan Moore. How's it going, John?
I'm good, man.
Oh, that's good to hear. I'm also joined by an 8-bit chimp specialist, Noah Todd. How's it going, Noah?
It's going quite well. Glad to be here.
Good to hear. Yes, I think since you're the newbie to our podcast, you can start us off with what games you've been playing.
All right, so I've been playing probably too much Destiny this week. I don't know if you guys have actually talked about that yet, but I'm enjoying it. I think it's a good game. I'll probably be spending a ton of time with it. And then on top of that, I've been dabbling in Madden 15. I had Madden 25, so I upgraded to Madden 15. It's the first time I've ever bought two Maddens back to back, and I'm happy. It's a suitable upgrade compared to 25. Nothing outstanding, but I am having a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, just about Madden. I remember seeing that glitch or something where one of the players becomes 40 times smaller or something like that.
Yeah.
Did you have that happen to you?
Actually, at a certain point, it was a glitch for a while, and then became so popular they actually put it into the game under the weekly challenge, I believe it was. And you didn't get to play as him, which was unfortunate. I really wanted to play as him. You played against him, but it was still funny nonetheless.
That's disappointing. It'd be nice to run around.
Yeah.
Just a small, because from what it seemed like, the football was bigger than him.
Yeah, by far, actually.
So what have you been playing, John?
Yeah, I've also been playing Destiny. Again, probably too much. I like it so far too. I know it's got a lot of negative, I've seen a lot of more than positive so far surrounding it. Sounding that people weren't too satisfied with the story of it. But I love it so far. I'm gonna keep playing it. I'm excited for all the events that are coming up soon. I know the Vault of Glass just came out recently. I heard that's super tough, so I'm excited to level up to be able to do that. And then I've also been playing NHL 15. I talked a little about this last time. They don't have the EA Sports Hockey League, which is a bit of a downer because that's essentially the only reason I bought it before. So you play online with all your friends, you make a team, and you play other teams, and there's 3 different divisions, and you can win the big trophy, the elite class trophy, and everything. And that's mainly when people play it now is for the EHL, the EA Sports Hockey League. But they didn't have it this time, so I was kind of hesitant to buy it at first. So I bought it anyway. I bit the bullet, and I'm glad I did because it's still a lot of fun. I'm playing Be a Pro mode, and it's really the whole presentation of all the games and the commentators really draw you in to the excitement and to the hype of the game. So it's still really fun, and the games are really intense, and it's always close, and so I'm still having fun with that.
Okay, that's pretty cool. How's your controller after it? Because I've heard reports of people's analog sticks just being completely ruined by the forward and backward flicking motion of playing hockey.
Mine's not messed up yet. I can see where that could happen because you're always you move your stick with the right analog, so you're always moving it, and the left analog is obviously the moving of your player. So those are the two things you're always using. So it hasn't messed up for me yet. When it had NHL 11, the first one I bought on PlayStation 3, I did both of the thumbsticks were all messed up and I had to buy a new controller. So hopefully I won't do that for the one I have now because it's a custom one and I really like it. So hopefully the analogs can handle it.
Yeah, you'll be distraught if that happens.
Yeah, that would be terrible.
Yeah, I think the only other controller that sort of played up with me is the N64 one. You know, when the analog would come out and you just have essentially a nail sticking through.
Yes.
And that would just injure you. And you think it's a controller designed for kids.
Yeah, I wore that out, and eventually it would hurt my thumb so much, but I wouldn't care because say I like playing a game and I'm at the boss level, I don't care if my thumb hurts. I want to win, so it didn't matter at that point.
Yeah, I must complete Banjo-Kazooie.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you two, I've been playing Destiny, and unlike most of the internet, I've been quite pleased with it because I wasn't expecting too much from like before it released, I didn't play the alpha or the beta. I heard good things about it, but wasn't expecting too much because I've never been a fan of the Halo series. So I went into Destiny. I thought this is pretty good. I get the criticisms. It does have a bland storyline. It does fail in a lot of areas, but what it does well, it does extremely well. Like the shooting and the mechanics, and damn, does it look good. It's the best looking game I've seen. Like, you look at it and just like, well, yeah, we couldn't have had this on previous gen. Like, the fidelity of it. It's just a shame that those worlds aren't a bit more open, that you can see that jutting rock and be able to go over and closer inspect it. But I guess that's why it looks so good, is because you can't do that. I have been disappointed though with Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm Revolution. I was really pumped for this game, but I wouldn't recommend buying it just because it feels so much like a game that's had as minimal amount of budget put into it so they can just get as much money as they can from Naruto fans. And I just think that's a really horrible way of doing a game, especially one that has such a massive fan base like Naruto. I mean, the fighting is still pretty strong, but then they also include this new ninja tournament thing, which sounds good on paper, but when you actually play it, you have 4 different characters in one arena, and the sort of locking on system is just so bad for it that you don't know what's going on half the time. So that's a really disappointed with that. I've also been, like usual, playing Don Brennan cricket. There's not much more I can say about this, apart from that there was a patch this week, so that's pretty much stopped me from playing Destiny. Patch 2.5, I think it's called. It's like just really minimal stuff, like when you bowl somebody over, you hit these things called stumps, and they've included the physics that when you hit it, the stumps like go flying everywhere, and it's just like it's so good to now bowl somebody, because that impact just adds to it. But yeah, that's all I've been playing this week. Some pretty good games, and Naruto, which is pretty not bad game, but I just wouldn't recommend buying it unless you're really craving the new roster, which I think is one of its main strongest points. Anyway, I think we've done games we've been playing, so we'll move on to topic 1, and that's: in this era of gaming, do cutscenes impede on games, or do they benefit from them? So, would you like to start us off with that, John?
So I think I don't think they impede on games. I think they for me, I think they benefit. Now I say that I have played some games to where the cutscenes are too long, so when you jump into a cutscene, you're like, oh, okay, now I'm going to figure out what's going on. So the cutscene's about 30 seconds into it, but after a certain amount of time, I'm like, okay, is it ever going to be over? And then I'm not interested anymore. I might miss some vital information. Then later I'll pick it back up. I'm like, what are they talking about? So I think they do benefit games, but I think in the right amount, I guess, or portion that they're in there. So yeah, I think they benefit. I know for me they do, because it helps explain everything, what's going on. I like to see the visuals and stuff like that. So yeah, for me they benefit.
Yeah, well, I think we come from an era of gaming, like growing up with the Final Fantasies, where you just couldn't have graphical depth in graphical sort of fidelity within the gaming world. The only way to portray these storylines was through awesome cutscenes, which the Final Fantasy ones are probably hands down one of the best at doing them, like from the PlayStation 1 era. But I just brought this up because I remember somebody saying that now that sort of dialogue and story can be sort of told with 2 characters conversing with each other, like, are they really necessary? And I think yes they are. Cutscenes are very necessary. I mean, you look at Metal Gear Solid, the 4th one. Sorry, that was essentially just a film with a bit of gameplay in the middle of it. Or you take a game like The Last of Us. I mean, the reason why there's cutscenes in there is because you need to see how Joel would react to a situation, not how you would react to a situation. So it kind of puts the emphasis on that character, not on you. So they'll do something that you might not necessarily have done as a player. So I think they're very crucial to gaming. And just bringing The Last of Us again, they also have dialogue between between people, which works extremely well. But if you had the whole game of it, it just wouldn't have had the impact, the major impact that it did. What about you, Noah? What do you think of this?
So I definitely agree that they're a benefit. But there's the only thing that I can think of that can be bad about cutscenes is like I remember playing Assassin's Creed 4, and when you'd be walking, and then it'd go to a cutscene, and then maybe like your foot or whatever or your leg is like in a different area, like just like simple things like that kind of get you out of the immersion of it. Or maybe in a game where you have customization on the character, and then it goes to a cutscene and it doesn't carry over, like that can definitely like separate the immersion and stuff like that. But I definitely do agree that they're usually a benefit. They're definitely a great way of getting the story across. And I really like what The Order is doing with cutscenes, where it's kind of seamless and type thing. And I think that you'll begin to see that more and more seamlessly going into cutscenes. Is kind of like the future of cutscenes, I think.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. I mean, take Destiny for example. That's a game that essentially didn't need cutscenes, and the fact you can't skip through any of them. Like I replayed one of the missions. I think it was the first mission, and you go to the cutscene and you couldn't skip through it. I thought, I've already seen this. It's not even that good of a cutscene anyway. I mean, it looks good, but there's nothing really being told, and you just think that really does get in the way. So it goes from game to game. It depends whether they deserve it and whether they've been implemented properly, I feel. Does anybody get anything else to say on that?
I would also agree with No on that. Like I know there's some games I can't think of any right now where you can upgrade, like you were saying, you can upgrade your character and put all those cool armor on, or like you get a new helmet from doing a mission, and then when it jumps into a cutscene, it doesn't carry over. So you're like, well, that's not. I mean, you work so hard to get it, and you equipped it, and then it's like, cool, I'm gonna see this cutscene. My guy's gonna look better. It's gonna show that he's improved and progressed through the game, and then it's like the same person, and it's like, oh, that kind of stinks. It just kind of, like he said, kind of takes you out of the immersion part of that.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. You've spent these hours building your character, and then all of a sudden in the cutscene, he's not who you built him as. So it kind of, like you said, detracts from the immersion and thinking, oh, this is a game. It's not this massive experience that I want to enjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's one thing Destiny does well. I mean, the story, with all its falters, it definitely, when you get to the cutscene, it's your character. When you're in the loading screen, it's your ship and stuff like that. So I think it definitely excels at that part.
Yeah, it might be just something that we'll see with not next gen, it is now this gen hardware that it has the actual ability to do that. And because I doubt it's been through laziness of developers, they just realise it's just taken too much time and money to actually do that. So a big game like Destiny, or a big company like Bungie can afford to invest in that kind of small sort of feature, but it is quite important when it comes down to it for immersion wise. I think we should move on to topic 2, which is one that Noah suggested, and it's essentially multiplayer versus single player. Like, you decide essentially which is better, do you feel? And we'll start off with you, Noah.
So I play a lot of single player games, but especially I notice this like in shooters, and maybe it's just me not wanting to be alone, but I find I'm often like left in the dust, like completely alone. And for some reason I always like especially when playing a shooter, it's always nice to have one other person there just in case you need like someone to take the heat for a few seconds and stuff like that. So I naturally gravitate towards multiplayer games. And Destiny kind of fits that bill with the multiplayer and stuff like that. Like, a lot of people have had problems getting into the Crucible. I've actually quite enjoyed it. I'm pretty addicted right now. So I definitely gravitate towards multiplayer games.
Yeah, I think Destiny's, like, I'm generally a single player person. I just enjoy having this story that's just been told to me, and I don't have to worry about anybody else getting in the way. But I think Destiny's a game that really has got it spot on. Like, I mean, the sort of integration between other players are just so seamless. Like, you can just pull up a menu and, or not even that, just go into the Crucible and you'll just have all these, you'll just go on a team or with your friends just go onto a planet and play a few rounds of Crucible. And I think that's something that they truly have excelled at is the multiplayer aspect. But then, unfortunately for me, a single player person, there isn't that much in Destiny. So that's where my major sort of gripe, as it were, with Destiny comes from. What about you, John? What do you think?
So the first thing I do every time when I turn my PlayStation 4 on is I go to my friends list and I see who's on. So I'm like, who's on? Who can I play a game with? So I'm definitely a multiplayer kind of guy. I love the single player games. I love the stories and everything like that. But I think playing with friends, like it's sharing your experiences with friends and just hanging out, playing games is like the best thing for me. I like single player games like Last of Us. The story was great, and some other games. But like Sniper Elite 3, I played that. The multiplayer wasn't it didn't even load for me the first few times, so I couldn't even get into it. But that's another good single player game. But I'm definitely a multiplayer kind of guy. I love the Call of Duties, even though they're like the same game over and over. I just love shooting people and going on missions and doing stuff with my friends. I think it just makes it just 100% way more enjoyable. So I would definitely be a multiplayer guy.
So you're somebody that was quite happy at E3 when all these games were coming out, and there was just like, you can play with your friends and this, and this.
Yes, 100%. I was like, awesome, we can play that together. And now I'm like, I need more friends to play all these games with.
I was completely opposite. I didn't like it. Single player has been my sort of experience for so long that I don't really want somebody else coming in affecting my game. And apart from Destiny, there's so many multiplayer games that I just feel have got it wrong. Like the finding a party and playing online with like server connection issues, and living in New Zealand, it's not as big of a deal now as it used to be, but I still have that problem of sometimes I won't connect properly, or I'll just drop out from a game, and I just find that's really annoying. I certainly prefer cooperative games to multiplayer ones.
And they've kind of joined those two together. I guess I could say that, because now you have in PlayStation, Xbox 360 had it first, but now in PlayStation 4 you have party chat. So like, say I wanted to play Skyrim, which is a single player game, I'll go play by myself, but then I could talk to you and you're playing Don Bradman cricket. So we can still kind of, I guess, hang out and be in the multiplayer kind of mood, but we're still playing our single player game. So I think that's when they said that's coming to PlayStation 4, I was like, I'm sold, I'm getting it. Like I thought that was the coolest thing ever.
So yeah, with the PS4, I just that's what motivated me to get it, was the how easy it would be to play with your friends, like share all of your content, and so I think I might start gravitating towards the multiplayer, but I think that's been more forced upon me than me actually wanting to with the recent games. But yeah, as long as there's still good single player experiences, and I'm sure as long as Naughty Dog's still around, there will be. So
yeah, I'm sure there will be.
But yeah, I mean, take the Elder Scrolls. I mean, that really didn't work online, and I think it has to be a single player game essentially. So as long as Bethesda and Naughty Dog stay single player,
right.
I'll be happy.
You'll keep playing games.
I'll keep playing games regardless, John.
Okay. You'll just play Don Bradman Crickman all the time.
Yeah, exactly. I just won't play any multiplayer ones. So I'll just be there. Don Bradman Cricket on PS3 when the PS5 has come out, and yeah, I'm in love with that game, John. You know
I know you are. You talk about it a lot.
And I will talk about it. 20 episodes in, I'll still be talking about it.
Oh man.
Anyway, yeah, I think we should move on to topic 3, which is in honour of our 8-bit chimp guest today. What game contains the best monkey? And I want you to start this off, John.
Okay, so I had to do a little bit of research on this, because I know, there's obviously Donkey Kong, but I was like, I know I've played some more games that have some really cool monkeys in them, and I found one. And one of my favorite games as a kid was Rampage, and you can get a big, giant, crazy monkey called George. You can just kill everybody and smash things, and And that was because when I played Rampage on the arcade as a kid, and that was my favorite games for a long time. So I was like, oh, that's a monkey. I've played him. I'll play with him all the time. So I would have to say George from Rampage because it was a fun game anyway, and you could like pick up cars and throw them at people and punch windows out of buildings. So yeah, I'd have to say George from Rampage was my favorite monkey.
I don't think I've ever played that game. How old is it?
Oh my gosh, man! I was an arcade and I was about probably I'm gonna say 20 something years old. The game's probably over 20 years old or at 20 years old.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, you never played that? Oh, it's awesome.
Like you said, Donkey Kong is obviously the one that most people go for, but I think Diddy Kong is still the better one. I think he's appeared in much better games, and Diddy Kong Racing, that was one of the hardest games as a kid, but one of the best ones, I think. Yeah. What about you, Noah? What game contains the best monkey?
So I also had to do a bit of research on this one because I didn't want to just answer Donkey Kong. And so one that came to mind was I remember playing. I'm not that old of a gamer, so this probably isn't too far in the past, but I just remember it being in my childhood of playing on the GameCube Super Monkey Ball. And it was during the time where I wasn't too into gaming, so I'm not actually sure how good these games have held up and stuff like that. I'm not even sure if they're good games. I just remember enjoying them a lot. And so, not one specific character from Super Monkey Ball, but it's like the cast of Super Monkey Ball. I remember that just being a super fun game that had monkeys.
Yeah, I guess you could say what the most annoying monkeys in a game was probably from Ape Escape. God, trying to capture all those, it's so annoying. Another good best monkey as well. I think there's one in Metal Gear Solid 4, isn't there? From the guy that sells you weapons. I presume you've played Metal Gear Solid 4, John.
I haven't, but I know. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so he sells your weapons. I just think I can't really remember him too much, but I could just remember that there's a monkey that sells you guns. That's all I need to know.
I know there was a monkey in a Zelda game, wasn't there? That
Yeah.
I think because I can't remember, but I almost picked that one because a monkey in a Zelda game. I remember playing that, but I can't remember like the details of it. But I know there's a monkey in a Zelda game. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Monkey in a Zelda game.
Well, Twilight Princess contains a monkey that helps you out in your first battle in the Forest Temple against the boss. Is that the one you're talking about? Or are you talking about
I have no idea. I was doing some research on it. I was like, which game? Because I don't remember. These are all kind of way back in the childhood. I don't remember any of this. And I was like, oh, there's a monkey in a Zelda game. And I was like, I don't really remember that, but I guess there was.
Oh, okay. That escapes me. Then I can only think of the one in Twilight Princess.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I never played it.
You never played Twilight
I just
Princess?
looked it up, and I found it. Its name is apparently Kiki. It's in Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past.
Oh, wow.
Let's see. Kiki is a monkey in the Legend of Zelda series, and he's a complete asshole. Awesome. Now I'm one who isn't shy about my honest dislike of the Zelda series, but either way, Kiki needs to be on this list. It was the top 20 monkeys. So apparently, he was number 16, so apparently he's pretty big.
Okay. Nice. Yeah, I didn't want to pick Donkey Kong because everyone's gonna be thinking of that. So I think I looked at that exact list and I was like, I think George is on there, and I was like, oh yeah, I played that all the time.
So I like how there's somebody that you've gone down and written a full list of best monkeys in games.
Yeah, I was surprised. I was like, that's interesting. But it helps me, so.
Yeah. The amount of time some people have.
Right? Oh, man.
I wonder how many just different lists there are of just various animals from games.
We might have to cover that in our next one.
Yeah, an animal themed podcast.
Oh gosh, oh man.
Oh well, I think that'll do us for episode 11 of deBETA. Thank you for joining us, and remember to check out all of our content on icedjgaming.com for news, reviews, and our other podcast, The Alphacast. Also check out the website that Noah Todd stars on, which is 8bitchimp.com, for more video game goodness. If you have any topics that you'd like us to debate, go on our forums and leave a message there, or you can send us an email at debatacast@gmail.com, or you can tweet John at
MX2Nerds.
You can tweet Noah at
you can it's Noah M. Todd is my personal one, but I'm never on it, so
He's honest.
Yeah. I've only started using Twitter. I mean, I barely remember my one. So do you want to just give the 8-bit chimp Twitter then?
Yeah, I mean the 8-bit chimp Twitter is the username is just 8-bit chimp on Twitter.
Okay.
That one is much more active.
Nice and simple. And you can find me at Noah S. Graham 17. That's NOAHGRA. No, it's not Noah S. Graham. What am I doing? It's NOAHGRHAM 17. Just Noah Graham 17.
You go. You got it right this time.
I'll get this right sometime.
Right.
It's a 50-50 essentially. Just flip a coin when I come in here. Thank you for joining us and have a great week. Goodbye.
Hey guys.